Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We can do better. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
There.
Oh, thank you. And Shabbat Shalom to those of you who are joining us digitally online. Welcome to you. As always, an extra special thank you to our Temple Emanu-El members. We so love and appreciate each one of you. And welcome to our guests. If this is your first time praying with us, welcome. So I'm Rabbi Rachel, here with Cantor Lauren Adesnik, and of course, our bar mitzvah and his family, so Aiden Rothman and family. We will be leading everyone in prayer this morning. For those joining online, in case you're wondering about the setup and see Aiden by himself up there, due to COVID, the clergy are over in one corner. Aiden is the center, and the congregation sort of fills in that other corner of our triangle. I know a lot of you were able to find it. Just in case, you will have our red siddur underneath your seat. Those of you online, it is being pinned into the Facebook feed right now. This is a participatory service, so when you see those italics, please join in. As Cantor mentioned, the more energy that we give to Aiden, he then can reflect that energy back down to us as well. As I mentioned, per CDC guidelines, we ask that everybody keep their mask over their nose and mouth. And we get it, it's hard sometimes, so if you need to step out of the sanctuary and outside for a little mask break, you can leave the sanctuary through this door, the door that most of you came in, and there is also an exit behind you if needed. So friends who are online, take a second to be saying Shabbat Shalom in the Facebook chat. Everybody here, try to turn to somebody that you didn't drive here with, wish them a Shabbat Shalom, and we'll come back together in just a moment. Friends, we are on page 5 in our red siddur, and it's my pleasure to call up Linda, Grandma, to present Aiden with his talit. And for all honors, no rush. We got the time. That's what we're here for. And so, Linda, if that microphone isn't going to pick you up, there should be a handheld there, and you can switch the handheld on.
Yep, there. Okay.
You want to get it for Aiden?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, yep, that'll work.
Okay, good. My dear Aiden, it is an honor and to present you with your great-grandfather, Papa's bar mitzvah talit. We know he would have been honored to see you wear it today on this momentous occasion of your bar mitzvah. With this talit, he will continue to be with you. In his talit, he will always be wrapped in and embraced by his love. Much love, Emanu. As you are embraced in the folds of the talit, so too you are wrapped in the big, loving embrace of your family, community, and the holy congregation. May the simplest of garments always be for you a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence. As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this talit, We proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
Amen, amen. So if we can, yep, hugs, of course. If we can hold that talit out in front of Aiden, he will then, before he puts it on, recite his talit blessing. Go ahead, Aiden.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu l'hitatef batiti.
Amen, amen.
Turn around.
Yep. Perfect, perfect. And stay up there for just a moment because we all get to come together for lots and lots of celebrations. This one's super, super joyous. And so we mark this moment in time. Shechianu, bottom of page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh. Amen.
One more hug for good measure. There we are. Perfect. And so, Aiden, as we continue in our service, we turn to page 6 as you share with us the prayer for bar mitzvah.
God be with me on this occasion of my bar mitzvah. Help me make them meaningful to the covenant you now establish with me. Sustain me with the sense of holiness. Inspire in me a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life. I ask only that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life into accordance with your will. In this hour of my bar mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends and all who have loved and cared for me and have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and achievement, and you who turn the heads of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Amen, amen. And Aiden, so that you don't feel like it's fallen off of you, go ahead and keep your arms around it. Yep, like that on one side, and then the other side as well. Mom's coming to help. Yep, there you go. And just keep your arms around it like that, and it'll stay out of your way. All right, friends. We are on page 7 as Aiden prepares to lead us in these words of Nisim B'chol Yom. I do apologize. I don't think I gave the reminder earlier, so I will offer this space now, which is if you need to pull out your phone or a watch to go ahead and put it into silent mode. Let's take just a second to do that now, and then I will invite Aiden to lead us. So take just a moment if you need. And Aiden, when you're ready, our blessings for daily miracles, page 7.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan laseh bina lehavin ben yom uvein laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamachin mitzaveh degaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'ayef koach.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hame'avir shenai me'enai Utnuma me'afa pai.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tselem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otir Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otir Yisrael b'tfara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher k'ishanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Friends, we turn in our Siddur to page 13 as we join in our first responsive prayer.
May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
Together, may it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, and hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out the pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit indifference, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Friends, we rise for our call to worship, Baruch Hu, page 15. Prepare for Yotzer Or. Aiden, this is a prayer about finding God in creation and in recognizing that each of us has a role in being co-creators with God. And so, Aiden, your job as bar mitzvah is to continue that, to find ways to create anew in the world, to make this world better than you found it, and to continue to illuminate our lives with your kindness. And then you will have fulfilled this call to be a co-creator of creation. So we'll join together on page 15 as Aiden leads us in Yotzer Or.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer Or uvarei choshech oseh shalom uvarei et hakol Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha berachamim uv tuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit ma rabu ma'aseha Adonai kulam bechokma asita mala ha'aretz kinyanecha tit bara Adonai Eloheinu al sheva ma'aseh yadecha val moreh or shasita yafarucha sela or chadash al Sion Tayir v'niskeh chulanu mihera le'ora Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer hameorot.
On page 16, we have Ahava Rabbah, calling out God's abundant love for us. And we ask that God enlighten us with God's Torah, to have our hearts cling to God's mitzvot. And Aiden, that's active. You can't passively go about life in general. That if you want to bring your Jewish values into the world to make it that better place, that you have to play an active role, that you engage in the mitzvot, in the good deeds that each of us seeks to bring into the world to make it a better place. So Aiden will now lead us in Ahava Rabbah, page 16.
Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu Himla Gidula Litera Hamalta Aleinu Ba'avor Avotenu Ve'imotenu Shabbat Hu Vecha Vatlamdem Chukei Chayim Kain Tetramchenu Utlamdenu Chamrachem Rachem Aleinu V'tein Bilibenu Lechavin U'chaskil Lishma Lilimod U'lamed Lishmor V'la'asot U'kayim Et Kol Divrei Talmud Toratecha Be'ahava Baruch Atah Adonai Chabocher Ba'amo Yisrael Be'ahava.
We turn to page 18. We center ourselves, feeling our feet on the ground. Perhaps we flutter our eyes closed. We declare God's oneness with Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. So Aiden, last night I said to you that it was your final time as a final evening as a child of the congregation to lead us in the Ve'ahavta. The catch was that there's one more time, because your moment of officially becoming bar mitzvah will happen in just a little bit. But you are already almost in this liminal space as you transition into a young man during our service before everybody's eyes. And the reason, again, that I bring it up is because it is your responsibility as much as it is our responsibility to teach the lessons of the Ve'ahavta, to teach the lessons of Judaism to the next generation. So yeah, that means, you got to pass that on a little bit to your brother, to your friends, to people who are a bit younger than you, and folks who are your age and older than you. They're watching you too as an example. And it is an amazing thing for us to be able to leave you from one who was a learner to one who teaches and continues to learn. We join together, Ve'ahavta, page 18.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol avecha u'v'kol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam be'shiftecha ve'vetecha uvlechtecha v'aderech U'shokbecha u'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'chayu letotefot b'neinecha, u'tatam al mezuzot beitecha, u'v'yisharecha. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim le'olechem. Ani Adonai Elohim, asher hotzeitchem. Meretz Mitzrayim, Le'yot Lahem Elokim, Ani Adonai Elohim.
Adonai Elohim.
It's my pleasure to call forward to our choir mic, proud aunt and uncle Stan and Liz Rothman, to lead us in the responsive prayer on page 19. So Stan and Liz, come on. Oh, right, you're passing it. You turn where the tape is, and we'll keep our masks on. Thank you.
Adonai our God,
Where do we read?
Yep, from Adonai our God.
Okay.
Adonai
Our God, you took us out of slavery in Egypt. You made us free.
You were in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering.
Even today, you are in the hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness of suffering and despair.
You are in the love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you. And still today, we sing that song.
We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Thank you. Air hugs, blow a kiss to the bar mitzvah. And we join together, rejoicing in song, our song of freedom, Mi Chamocha, page 20. Friends, our service continues with our central standing prayer, the Amidah, connecting us to generations past and generations yet to be. We're on page 21. Please rise.
Adonai sefatefita ufia gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagedor, Hagibor Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vikonei Hako, Ve'Zocher Hasadei Avot V'Yimaot, Umege Gula Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo Me'ahava, Melech Ozer Mashiach Maki, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Hako Atah Rav Le'oshia, Mashiv HaRuach Umarid HaGashem, Mechakel Hayim Behesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabbi, Samech Noflim Rove Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Yafa. v'ne'emana lecha hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol.
On page 23, I invite forward proud aunt, uncle, and family, Cindy Furman, John Bandies, and Allie Bandies, to lead us in this responsive prayer.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when people of different backgrounds work together for a common future.
There is holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry or song or philosophy.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is Adonai our God.
Kedusha, page 24.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמות תשימו אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו, מדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני, ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא משיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד עוד לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד עוד לך. ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד עוד לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד עוד לך. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue responsively as Aiden leads us in the prayer that continues on page 25.
From of old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit. It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break in the routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In every age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a heaven of safety, a fountain of new strength, a perpetual renewal.
Shabbat nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is a part of nature's design, this very purpose of creation, all that was created, attained, and fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is our hope, the calm haven where all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. On page 26, we have our prayer for Shabbat Yismechu. It is about the joy of Shabbat. And so if you are a Bar Bat Mitzvah student who's joining us online, now is the time to let us know that you are here and to share in the chat what's joyful for you this Shabbat. Tell us the goodness that's going on in your life as we join together. Yismechu, page 26. That Shabbat energy, we continue on page 27 as I would like to invite forward proud aunt and uncle, Mindy and Rory Russo. As they lead us in this responsive prayer.
Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us and within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
When we see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed forever and ever. Thank you. And on page 28, we have a lot of aunts and uncles. Aunt and uncle Stacy and Jay Bolleton.
Our God, we know there is no greater gift than peace. Help us to find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it, and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace. Blessed is God, teacher of peace. Sim Shalom, bottom of the page.
Sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, Tova veracha, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim. Sim shalom, Tova veracha. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim. Sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, Tova veracha.
We continue with the words of our prayer book or the prayers of our heart as we enter some moments of silent prayer, and we will join it back together in a few moments on page 30. Friends, we turn to page 31 as we invite Ford, Allison, and Paul to offer a blessing to Aiden.
Okay. May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be.
May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision be on a straight path before you.
May your eyes shine with the light of holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness.
A Jewish home opens its heart, and its link to the generations is proclaimed. Today our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah, and is welcomed into the congregation.
May this moment be blessed.
Amen, amen. You haven't had the chance to give him a hug in a little bit, so
Okay.
now might be a good time. No, I need you guys to stay up. I need you to stay up, even if you don't hug him. But for real, stay up. Because we are transitioning to our Torah service. So that's going to begin on page 32. I'm going to call out a few directions before we formally begin. And so that is to first invite proud brother Jaron and cousin Hannah to come on up. You guys will be opening the ark, but not yet. And then to please come on up to the bima for the undressing of the Torah. That will be Ethan Rousseau and Carly Rousseau. And so if you could come stand over by where the little table is sitting at the front of the bima. And then next, I'd love to invite up our proud grandparents, Martin and Judy Young, Chuck and Linda Rothman. Have we decided, are we going all the way up or are we going to stay? Either way is just fine. All right, and if you guys will make your way to sort of form a line on, I guess where you are, a nice diagonal line would be great. And then, so Paul, in just a second, you're going to be taking the Torah out of the ark, but first, everybody please rise our Torah service, page 32.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah.
We open the ark.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Udvar Adonai mirushalayim.
Go ahead and get the Torah, Paul.
Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
All right, walk on down, but don't pass the Torah on yet. So Aiden, if you could turn and look at me. So this is this moment of the generations of Torah, which means to say you're surrounded by your mom and your dad, who are surrounded by their parents. Now I want you to look over Grandpa's shoulder. Okay, behind him are your great-grandparents, and then your great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents. You catch my idea here? And they are wrapping around this sanctuary so that, Aiden, you could be here at this moment to accept Torah as bar mitzvah. And it is because of the choices your loving family have made that we are here in this moment. And so now, Paul, if you would let everybody of the grandparents go ahead and touch and kiss the Torah, a little hug to it. Okay, and then to Allison for a little hug. And we'll pass it on to Aiden. We're about to do a few blessings, a hakafa, meaning they're going to walk around with the Torah. And then Ethan and Carly, that's when you'll come in with undressing the Torah once they make it back up. We continue with Shema, page 33.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Aiden, go ahead and look at the ark for a moment. Gadol Adonai iti, uneromena Shemo yachdav. And now the bar mitzvah family can walk around with the Torah. Lecha Adonai hagedura, hagedura, v'hatiferet, v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki hu b'shamayim v'aretz, ki hu b'shamayim v'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamelacha, v'amid na'aseh lechol rosh. Romemu Adonai address the Torah. Yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai.
Beautiful. So, Jaren and who's up there? Hannah, there. Please close our ark. And grandparents, if you will make your way down, there's also a ramp here if that's going to be an easier way to descend the bima. Ethan and Carly, you may also find your seats in the congregation. Please be seated.
We're going back to our seats.
Oh, what?
Okay, you can sit there if you want, so you don't have to keep going up and down, or not.
Getting extra steps today. All right, friends, so this is that big moment that we've been waiting for. We have come to our Torah service. So if you would like to follow along in the Torah reading, you can do so in the book under your seat that's dark blue that says Torah. If it says Mishkan Tefillah, it's the other one. And we'll be on page 618. Our Torah portion this week is Parashat Tetzaveh from the book of Exodus. We get a lot of nitty-gritty details about the Ner Tamid, the eternal light, and things like what the priests wear when they're making sacrifices. So again, that's page 618, or you can find the Torah blessings in your red Siddur on page 34.
So coming back up for our first Aliyah, proud grandparents, Martin and Judy Young. Ya'amdu Mir Moshe ben Chaim Galvo, Esther Yehuda Fega bat Moshe Shmuel v'Pesa, La'aliyah LaTorah. And Paul and Allison, if you just want to step a little closer to the Torah, so that way we can make sure it's nice and surrounded. Okay?
So go ahead and be on either side so you can see his yad. All right, little touch and kiss there, Aiden, of the Torah with your talit.
Touch it with your talit.
All right, and our Torah blessing when you guys are ready.
Baruch Adonai, Baruch Le'olam Bo'ed,
Baruch Adonai, Baruch Le'olam
Melech Olam, Asher b'chavonu mikol ha'amin, v'noton lanu et Torto, Baruch atah Adonai, notena Torah.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, 1 second, Aiden, let's get the microphone to your, so everybody can hear you.
How's that?
Good. Okay. Amen. Ve'asita v'gdei kodesh le'aharon achicha le'kodvod u'tifaret. Ve'ata tedaber el kochach milev asher malativ ruach chochma ve'asu et vigdei aharon lidkadsho lechachanoli.
Nasher Koa. Very good. Alrighty, grandparents, you are up.
You can go sit.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah ameth v'chayei olam atah b'sotenu. Baruch atah Adonai, no Tena Torah.
Amen. So air hugs and air kisses. And we call up more proud grandparents, Chuck and Linda Rothman. Ya'amdu Chaim and Yosef, Libracha bat Vov Shmuel, V'soibel Nachal La'aliyah Torah. And whenever you're ready, you can.
Borkuas Adonai Hambara.
Baruch Adonai Hambara Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Baruch.
Adonai Hambara.
Borkuas Adonai Hambara. Baruch Adonai Hambara Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Baruch Abraham Kol Hamed. Benot Amanu Es Torah. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'ele habegadim asher yasu hoshen ve'fod il uchtonet tashbet mitznefet ve'avnet ve'asu vigdei kodesh le'aharon achicha ulvanav lechahanoli.
Yasher Koach. All right, grandparents.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Semes V'chai Avon Notah B'Tzadkeinu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Air hugs and kisses to Bar Mitzvah. And it is my honor to call proud parents, Allison and Paul, for this next Aliyah. Oh, yes, you can use that, but I also turned on the other one and turned that one off for you.
Okay.
So, which point to which microphone you're going to use?
We're gonna use that one.
Okay, here we go. Alrighty, Ya'amdu, Pesach Yaakov ben Chaim v'Librachaya, Vila Sophie bat Meir Moshe v'Yehuda Feke, La'aliyah Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Banu Mikol Hamim Ve'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vehem yikehu et hazaham vet hatahelet vet hargaman vet tolaat hashani vet hashes ve'asu et haefod zahav tehelet hargaman tolat shani ve'shesh mosezar Maaseh Hoshev Shetev Hetefot Hoverot Yihileo El Shanei Kitotav Vehu Bar.
Yasher Koach. All right, Mom and Dad.
Sorry. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Beautiful. Give Aiden a big hug and a kiss. Can't have too many of those. And Aiden, what you're going to do, you're going to go have a seat in that chair that's closest to the Israeli flag. Mom and Dad, you're going to stay right where you are. And Aiden, you're going to look at me. Hello. So we have been moving towards this moment all morning, but really, truly, Aiden, you've been moving towards this moment since you were born. And every day, every week, every month, you have gotten closer and closer to this liminal time where after you stand up from your chair and you walk up to the Torah, you will literally ascend into becoming a bar mitzvah. So that's what that word aliyah means. It means to ascend, to rise upward. And I like to say that that movement from your chair to the Torah, it's a physical demonstration of what's really happening within you, and not only within you, but within all of us. So what does that mean? What's happening? Well, as you take that journey, that final step into becoming a bar mitzvah, you are moving deeper and upwards into connecting to your Jewish heritage, your peoplehood, to your religion, to your family, to that sense of history, and also to your sense of Jewish spirituality and your connection to God, to that thing that's greater than us. And in your doing that, Aiden, you also lift us up, you elevate us, so that we are able to open up ourselves more and connect to our Judaism, our heritage, and to God. So it is my pleasure to call you up to the bima as an official bar mitzvah. Come on up. Yavod habachur habar mitzvah, Yosef ben Pesach Yaakov bina Sofi la'aliyah Torah. And so you're going to go ahead and make the blessing over the Torah.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol hamin, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'heishev afudato asher alav, k'ma'asechu mi'emenu yiyeh. Zahav tehelet ve'argaman v'tolat shani v'shesh Moshe zar v'la katata et shetev avnei shoham ufyichtata alehem shemot b'nei Yisrael shisha mishmotam al ha'elen chaychad ve'et shemot hashisha hanotarim al ha'evan hashanit kitoldotam.
Asher koach, and go ahead and make the blessing after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'choyei olam nata b'Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Mazel tov, wonderful. So now, Mom and Dad, if you guys will go on either side of Aiden. Perfect, yep. And then Aiden, if you'll look over here on page 35, I have this lovely opportunity to give you a special Misher Berach, one for becoming bar mitzvah. Friends, I'm on page 35, and I'll ask that you please rise. Misher Berach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et Yosef ben Pesach Yaakov v'Bina Sofi, shehigia lemitzvot v'ala laTorah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmerehu v'chayehu v'chonen et libo l'hiyot shalem im Adonai Elohav, l'hagot b'torato la'lechet b'drachav v'lishmor mitzvotav, v'yimtza chen v'seichel tov b'einei Elohim v'adam v'nomar Amen, which means, Aiden, may God who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you. Because you have come for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. And so we ask that the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith and walking in God's ways. And through walking in God's ways, fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and before all people. And together we say, Amen. All right, friends, we're going to remain standing as we prepare for Hagbah and Galila. And so if Aunt and Uncle David and Lauren Rothman will come on up to dress our Torah as our cantor will sing V'zot HaTorah.
וזאת התורה אשר משה לבני בני ישראל. כי אדוני ביד משה. יאללה לי 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 לי. יאללה לי 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 לי. יאללה לי 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 לי. יאללה
have a seat settle in. You may return to your seats. Thank you. And this is that wonderful time where we get to settle in a little bit here as Aiden shares his Devar Torah with us.
Mom and Dad, you can have a seat.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion is Tetzaveh from the book of Exodus. My Torah portion is about how God told Moses to tell Aaron to instruct the Israelites to bring clear oil of beet and olives for the regular lighting of the Ner Tamid, the eternal light. God also told the priests what to wear and eat. He then describes the special garments that the priests would wear whenever they officiated putting oil into the lamps. Aaron became the first high priest who wore an 8-garment uniform and was entrusted with duties and privileges beyond those of ordinary priests. Aaron's sons became the first ordinary priests who officiated in uniform comprising 4 garments. After describing the priest's garments, God instructed Moses to follow a week-long ritual in order to install his brother and nephews into their priestly office. This is followed by the description of the altar for burning incense. Aaron was then told to burn the incense every morning and evening. God wanted the people he trusted to make the priest's uniform. God chose these people because he thought that they were special and that they were good at making clothing. God assigned people with certain skills, specific tasks. I think this shows that each and every one of us has our own talents and gifts that other people may not have. For example, engineers can do math quickly in their head. A doctor has studied the best way to save lives, or a waiter uses their steady hands and pleasant personality to serve their guests. One skill I think I have is the ability to cheer people up. When I see someone feeling down, I try to say jokes, give them food or drinks, or give them a toy to play with. As a part of my mitzvah project, I'm helping out kids whose parents are working on getting through their addiction. I hang out with them to make them feel happy for the rest of the day. I know not everyone can make the priestly uniforms or have the job of making sure oil is always in the lamps, but everyone has their own talents and gifts that they can use to help the world. Go out there and use your special skill to help others in need. Becoming a bar mitzvah means that I'm now an adult in the Jewish community. I plan on doing more activities in the future with the Jewish community. For example, now that I have done my bar mitzvah, I plan on going to Israel when I'm older. One thing that I'm going to do is attend more services because for the most part, all I do is go to the holiday services. Also, I would like to help my brother more with reading Hebrew for Sunday school. A Jewish value that is important to me is to give to the needy. This means that I like to spend some of my time at food drives and give clothes to people who need it more than I do. This is important because if I didn't pitch in and help them, then they may have missed dinner that night or be cold because we didn't get them any clothes to wear. Israel is a homeland to many Jews for many generations. It is very important to me because it is the Holy Land for many people. I think it will feel different to pray in Israel rather than just an ordinary synagogue because it is the Jewish Holy Land and I will be in a new place surrounded by people who are just like me. I would like to thank all my family and friends for coming to see me become a bar mitzvah. I especially want to thank my tutor, Cantor Barbara, for pushing me to places I didn't even know I could go. I want to thank Rabbi Spike, Rabbi Rachel, Cantor Desnick, and Miss Joanne for helping me prepare to become a bar mitzvah. I want to thank my Gammon and Pop for always showing me positivity when I was feeling down. Nanny and Poppy, thank you for always being there when I needed you. I would like to thank Jaren for always making me laugh when I didn't feel good. Mom and Dad, thank you for always reminding me to study every night for my bar mitzvah. Mom, thank you for dealing with all my complaining. I love how nice you are, for your hugs, and for always making sure I'm okay. Dad, thank you for taking me to all my basketball and baseball games, and for giving me delicious snacks to eat after school. I love how you pushed me to go really far in schoolwork, baseball, and helping me become a better person. Thank you everyone for being here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Friends, we have just learned Torah from a young man of this congregation, so thank you, Aiden, for sharing those words of Torah with us. And so now we are going to transition as we return the Torah to the Ark. And so that means, Jaren, head back up, buddy, to the Ark, along with Hannah, if you will help him as well, please. And Paul, in a second, you're going to pick up the Torah. Not till I rise, everybody, but, you can get in the ready position.
I'm going.
And Allison, you can head over there, too. Just hang out. All right, folks, everybody, we are on page 39. I'll ask that you please rise. Our ark can be opened. Paul, you can pick up the Torah. It's time.
It's time la machazikima v'tometecha meushar derachecha darchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom. Paul, you can put the Torah back into the ark. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashulam Chadesh, Chadesh Aleinu kekedesh.
You guys can close our ark. And unless your name is Aiden Rothman, you can be seated. I feel like some people had to pause to make sure that was not your name. So Aiden, if you could look over here for a little bit. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Things are good?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear. You've done an amazing job at leading us in prayer and Torah this morning. And so I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit about my hopes for you, and to recognize that, Aiden, you are such a thoughtful young man. You really put your heart into the things that you try, and I love how you're willing and open to engage in texts, in Judaism, in things that are new to you. That is a really important thing to have inside of you, and I think those qualities are really quite deep in your soul. And so I know you're more of a quiet guy. You're not going to be the first one to run in to answer the question, but I know it's because you're thinking deeply about your answer. And we need some more thoughtful young men out there in our world. And so please continue to be that role model to your brother, to the other kids at Temple Emanu-El. They look up to you. They think you're really cool, whether or not you do or not, okay? You're the coolest thing ever to them. And so when you show them what it means to just be yourself, to be that nice person, to be somebody who cares whether or not food is on the table for their neighbor, like that's what we want more of in this world. So continue to bring that energy not only to your home, to your synagogue community, into the wider community as well, so that each of us may be blessed for having you in our lives.
And wow, Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. You were so beautiful and awesome this morning. And I know that this day has been a really long time coming for you and your family. And you showed such perseverance, making it through from the beginning to here we are. It's still COVID, but we're look at how we've moved so that we can be able to be together and to celebrate you becoming bar mitzvah this morning. And so I really want to elevate and lift up that dedication and perseverance that you have demonstrated. And also, I want to elevate something you mentioned in your Devar Torah, and that is you really take such care in cheering others up when they are feeling not their best. And that that could be, people around you in your immediate community, but also that you have gone out of your way in helping kids who may only get their only support and happiness that day from you. And that's an amazing and enormous gift that you are giving to somebody else. So my blessing for you, my hope for you, is that you continue to give that kind of a gift to those around you. And when you do that, Aiden, you literally lift them up. And in lifting them up, you continue to elevate as well. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. And so at this time, Aiden, we have the chance to once more offer you that sacred blessing, the priestly benediction. I'll ask that everybody please rise. May God bless you and keep you. May the light of God shine upon you and be gracious to you. Aiden, wherever life's journey takes you, may you be so grounded in the values you've shared with us today. May you walk with the right amount of pride and ego and joy in the world. And may you know the most important gift, the gift of peace. Together we say, Amen. Amen. All right, so now everybody may be seated unless you are mom and dad.
Okay, you can be right here. Thanks everyone for coming. Aiden, you finally made it. When you started studying for your bar mitzvah, the first one, pre-COVID, I was a good 3 or 4 inches taller than you. Now look at you. You're growing into a man in more ways than one. Mom and I are just so proud of you. You have worked so hard on this. You sacrificed. You decided to postpone your bar mitzvah so all these people could be here in person and share it with you.
This isn't the first time Aiden has made such a concession. On the day of Aiden's 11th birthday, I realized that we had scheduled our family to help serve meals to the women on the Mary Hall Freedom House, a great community service project that we did right here at Temple Emanu-El. In fact, it is the same group that Aiden helped with his mitzvah project that you will find on the back of your program. I asked Aiden if he wanted to skip it and do something with his friends for his birthday instead. Believe it or not, Aiden said he would rather serve those meals. His party could wait. That's the kind of man that Aiden is and will be. And it is the same man he is cultivating even further with his achievements today.
Mom and I are so proud of you, and we know that you will continue on this meaningful journey to become a man, and we can all be a man who we can all be proud of. Mazel tov, Aiden Rothman. The future is yours for the taking.
Amen. Hug, hug. Kiss, kiss. And Jaron, you're becoming a professional at this. If you and your family will head up to the Ark, friends, we will begin to conclude our service with Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 40. Even closer to the Ark, Jaron, so that you can help open it.
Oh yeah, everybody can go.
All the way up, all the way up.
Mom and Dad too.
Mom and Dad too.
Aiden too.
All right, friends, please rise as we open the Ark. Go ahead.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'atid gedula li'atzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo samcha keinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol ha'munam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad.
Close our Ark. All right, and Rothman family, if you'll head back to the Bima as a unit, you too, Jaron. The congregation will please be seated. We've reached the point in our service where we recall loved ones who have died in recent days, as well as those who have died in seasons past. And especially on such a happy day like this, we imagine each of them at their best, smiling down upon us for this great simcha. And so I know that the Rothman family is especially thinking on this day of H.W. Young, Esther Young, Maurice Edelman, Pauline Edelman, Bill Bandies, Sobel Bandies, Joseph Rothman, Joan Rothman, and Richard Furman. If anybody is in the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise so we may recognize you. If anyone is in the first year, Yud Bet, mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise so we may recognize you. If on this Shabbat you are commemorating a yahrzeit, death anniversary of a loved one, we invite you to please rise so we may recognize you. And if it is your custom to rise for Mourner's Kaddish, as it is here at Temple Emanu-El, I'll invite you to do so now as we join together on page 41. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei t'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei ameyah. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaser. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru,
right, Rothman family, before we get into our Siman Tovs, we need to make Kiddush and Motzi, so if you will shuffle to the small table. And Aiden, of course, please hold up the large Kiddush cup. Everybody else, there should be little cups for you. Feel free to grab onto those.
Yeah, give it.
And Cantor, go for it.
We are on page 42. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. Take a drink.
All right, and it looks like there's a little bit of challah on the table, yeah?
Yes.
All right, so let's do a little bit wala challah. Take that cloth off. Wala challah. All right, and we'll say our blessings.
Aiden, you want to go ahead and lift up the challah? Beautiful. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.